I don't like where this is going. This is giving like Bloody Mary. This is giving like we should not be playing with mirrors. Oh, hi, if you don't know me, my name is Riley, and I read you spooky, scary ghost stories daily for your entertainment. You're welcome. Titled Strange Things That Have Happened to Me. When I was around the age of 2, I would get up and play with an old phone my parents had around the house. My parents said they would hear me having whole conversations to whoever was on the other line. My parents didn't have this phone plugged into the wall. This was early 2000s, so it wasn't like a cell phone. My parents tried to stop me from playing with the phone by putting up super high, but yet I would always be able to get it and I would be on the ground sitting there playing with it. They started putting up baby gates and I would climb over them and slide down them. There was also one morning my mom woke up and I wasn't in my room. She walked into the living room and the front door was wide open and I was in the front yard. Yet the lock was super high. I couldn't reach the lock as I was barely a toddler. When I was around the age of 4, my mom got pregnant with my sister. Fast forward to when I was like 10, I believe. I have kind of blocked this one out as it's kind of odd what happened. My older cousin, we'll call her Britt for this story, and my mom took my sister into the bathroom, turned off the lights, and put my sister facing the mirror. My mom jokingly said, "The power of Christ compels you." And my sister's eyes start glowing a yellow, and she starts hissing and trying to get away from them. I only know this because I overheard the grown ups talking about it later. My sister was very weird. My family isn't religious at all, but my mom actually started to pray to whatever she believes in every night before bed. The next thing that happened to me was when I was around the age of 16 to 17. I can't really remember. My parents' house was broken into. My parents got super paranoid and got cameras for inside and outside the house. Paranoia is definitely acceptable after your house has been vandalized by being broken into, I think. I'm just throwing it out there, just a thought. Just a little backstory, I dropped out of high school and started working full time, so I was getting up at 4:30 a.m. to get ready for work. The cameras inside my parents' house will click going in and out of night vision. My mom heard it one morning and asked me if it happens every morning. I said yes. My mom brought it up at dinner that night. My dad said that was around the time my grandma would be up making breakfast for him and his siblings. The house was where my grandparents on my dad's side lived when they were together. If I would say, "Hi, Grandma," the clicking would stop. Just a little side note, my grandfather on my dad's side almost passed away in the house. My sister would tell my mom about the old lady that used to live in the house, how the old lady, was very mad that there was a family living in her house, and how the old lady was going to start hurting us one by one, and how she was going to try to burn the house down. One day, my sister and I came down from being at our cousin's house, we'll call her Linda, and her husband, Kit. My sister turns to my mom and says that she can't feel the old lady anymore. My mom just told us we didn't have to worry about the old lady anymore. Not sure what she meant by that, but she was right. My sister never said anything about the old lady ever again. This is just something odd that I want to add in. I was taking pictures on Snapchat as most teenage girls do. I have one on my phone that my eyes don't even look normal. I took pictures after it and my eyes are normal. My eyes look pale, like there isn't any color. These pictures were taken in my parents' house. When I was 21, I moved out of my parents' house and into my fiance's house. I've never had sleep paralysis my entire life. But about a month of me being moved in, I woke up one night to feeling like something was sitting on my chest. That was my car, sorry. I looked over at my fiance and I was going to try and wake him up to help me. But when I did, there was a very solid black figure standing over him. It would have been 10 or 12 feet tall, standing up straight. When I went to say his name to wake him up, it looked at me and smiled a very evil smile, and I passed out. I remember feeling like something was choking me, trying to get me to stop looking at it. A few other things that happened in that house: the bathroom was attached to the bedroom we slept in, and we could hear the doors on the underside of the cabinet open and then slam shut. We didn't have a cat, and we crate my dog at night, so if anything happens in the middle of the night, we know where we can find him. We would wake up to every cabinet door drawer. Sometimes it was also the oven and refrigerator door open, but yet all of the food was still cold. I'm not at all religious, but I hung up a cross in our bedroom and it all stopped. My fiance's grandfather passed away and rotted in his house. I promise this is relevant later. His house was going to be my fiance's. My fiance, we'll call him Adam, and our friend at the time, we'll call her Hannah, was going into the house for something. My fiance was in the middle of unlocking the door when they heard his grandfather's voice in the house. A few other things happened in this house. We have had things be put in the middle of our walkway, like pens that was in the living room and cups that we keep. I found a pack of cigarettes that my fiance would never smoke. We aren't regular smokers. We won't smoke this type of cigarette, and it's not only him and I in the house. He also doesn't have a reason to lie to me about it. I wouldn't even be mad. We have plastic forks We have found one in front of our refrigerator when we were out all day and came back to it just on the ground. If I go to bed earlier than my fiance, it always feels like something is pacing back and forth in our bedroom or someone is laying at the end of the bed, kind of like a cat. We do own a cat, but we keep the door closed and she'll push it open and I'll look at the door and it'll still be closed. I also always have the feeling I'm being watched if I take a nap in the bed by myself. We live right beside the cemetery, and sometimes when taking the dog out, he'll just stare at the cemetery and you have to pull on him to get his attention back to you. A couple months back, I'm writing this in January. I was asleep in the couch and my dog was laying next to me. I got woken up to a very loud knock on the door, like the person or thing on the other side was really wanting to get in. Both my dog and I woke up. I was okay, someone is knocking for some reason. I got on the camera we have on our porch and nobody was there, not even a bird or anything. It happened again, really high up on the left wall. Even my cat Wisp came running into the living room. I called my fiance, freaked out, and told him what happened. And he came home, checked out our property and the cameras, and you can hear the knock clear as day. A couple weeks away, I was once again asleep on the couch with my dog, and we both got woken up by what sounded like a very heavy box being thrown around. Adam resells on the side, so I got up to check to make sure nothing was settled and nothing was broken, but nothing was out of place. I went and sat back down, fell back asleep, and got up to a McDonald's toy display Adam owns on the ground. No matter what, since we moved into the house we are in, I wake up at 3 a.m. I used to make myself go back to sleep, but recently I started to get up and go sit in the bathroom. I hate to say, but I'm 24 years old and I'm scared of the dark. I have a nightlight on the side of my bed that is motion detection and it'll get brighter the closer you get. I have it pointing to the ground to make sure it wouldn't wake up Adam. And it'll be bright sometimes and nothing will be there. Now, my workplace, before I started working at my job, I was going in with Adam, my fiance. I would sit in the back of the store as my parents wasn't too happy about me moving out and threatened to come down and kidnap me and take me back even though I was 21 at the time. One time, when it was almost time for the store to close, I went to walk up and I decided I was going to go to the bathroom. And I was going to go through the meat shop, and there was a very solid dark black figure. It looked like it was wearing a hat that has feathers in it and a cane on the other side of the meat shop curtains. I turned around and said, I'll just hold it until I get home. Most of the time, I feel like I'm being watched in the store. One time, when I was going to the bathroom, I saw a pale white figure hanging upside down from the ceiling in the soda room. One night, when Adam was doing some extra things for the store, we both walked the store. It's a very small store. We heard a small kids laughing in the background in the left-hand corner of the store. Adam has stayed the night in the store and he's heard the bathroom door slam shut. We've had bottles of alcohol be shattered on the floor, watched cameras back, and we watched the bottle come off the shelf and fall to the ground. We've watched chip bags be on the ground as well. I would like to be anonymous, but I'll be glad to answer questions. You can call me Elizabeth. It's not my real name. I also have a story about my mom playing with the Ouija board when she was younger. You can call my sister Bella and my mom Annie. Not even sure if this will be sent or seen. Maybe it was sent and it was seen and it was long, girl. You have had so many crazy ass experiences. That is insane. That was like a time lapse of from when you were like 7 to 25. Like that was so much. I feel like you're a magnet for entities. I feel like you're just literally like a portal door. I'm gonna need all of my spiritual girlies in the comments to literally let me know what is attached to this girl because what the fuck? Thank you for sending this in. Please send me all the remainder stories. I would love to hear them and read them. If you've made it this far, please like, comment, save, share. I feel like we can make a breakdown to that. Probably not. I love you guys so much. I hope you have the best freaking day ever, literally. I hope it is like the best day that you've ever experienced in your entire life. Maybe you got proposed to today, or maybe you hit every single green light and you didn't have to stop once at a red. I don't know, but I hope it was a fantastic day.